anger running through, you know, the tinnitus for quite a few of you. And I'll just say again, if you hear background noise, it's not you guys, it's not tinnitus. I have yard people who showed up. It was not, they weren't scheduled to be here right now. They'll be done in just a few minutes. So it's not you, it's yard work. So I'm going to put those 2 videos into the group following this Facebook Live. Then I'm going to put a 3rd one in that has to do with water. And you may be going, okay, that's kind of a weird topic, but it really isn't. Staying hydrated is such an important thing. I can't even begin to stress it enough. And if you are tapping and not getting the result that you think you should, it may be because you're not properly hydrated. But there are some underlying things that I need to talk to you about because water isn't really just a thing. It is, it's way more important than what you think. So I'm going to put all 3 of those videos into the group today, and we'll let you work with that. Now, I will announce this also at the end of the video, but my next Facebook Live is going to be Tuesday. That'll be the 18th of September, and I'm going to do this one at 4 o'clock in the afternoon Mountain Time, so a lot later in the day. I'm trying to get, people are all over the world that are in this group, which is really, really cool. So I'm going to do a variety of times with that. So 4 o'clock, Tuesday the 18th, which is also my little sister's birthday. Now, I want to talk today about emotions. That's going to be a big topic because a lot of you are describing events and things and you're saying, okay, well, I had this or this or this. This is what's going on in my life. But you're not describing the emotions. And sometimes it can be hard to get in touch with those, or there are so many all wound up in there that it's hard to tease out which ones are coming up first. And one woman responded from the visualization. She said, yes, I saw a color. I think she saw red, and I felt mad. And that's really, really tappable. That's great to work with. I think it was Hera yesterday said, oh, I can't be on the call, but do some tapping for a stressful event. And I responded to that, and stress is actually the response, okay? It's actually not the emotion that is causing the trigger. That's the trigger. It's actually a response. So what I want is to not tap for stress, although we can do some of that, and I have done that in some previous videos. I want us to really get to the juice of this thing, and that's going to be emotional work. So when you have a stressful event, I don't want you to tap on it as stress. I want you to get quiet, look at that, and see how you actually feel. And you're going to find that you're either sad or mad or scared. It's going to be probably one of those 3. Now, you may have frustration, things like that in there with it. And all of these are tappable emotions. But if you aren't working with the emotions, then you're probably not going to get a great result. You don't want to work on the end product. You want to work at the stuff underneath it. I hope that makes sense to all of you. Now, some of you are familiar with EFT and tapping, and some of you really weren't. So that was my oversight. I'm just going to say again, in order to get the results that you're wanting with this, you have to actually do the videos. You can't just sit and watch them. You're not going to get any better. You have to tap and follow along with me, and you have to speak out loud. You are addressing directly your own subconscious, and that is how you get a good result, because we're designed to be able to let go of these things. Okay, so just saying that again as a reminder for everybody. Now, something else I want to talk about with emotional work. And one of you described, I'm just thinking back on it, talked about leaving a job that you really didn't like to take care of an elderly parent, and then that parent died, and now you're taking care of the other elderly parent, and that sometimes you put, I believe, hearing aids or earplugs in so that you actually can't hear that parent because, you know, it makes you feel better. So I want you to go in and look at the emotions that are under that, because there will probably be anger. I'm just using this as a good example. There probably is going to be anger. There'll be irritation, annoyance, maybe sadness. There are going to be a lot of things underneath that. But that is what I want you to look at and talk about in this group. Give me more stuff to work with, okay? Now, this is a good place to talk about shame. I've been listening to lots and lots of Brene Brown lately. Her work is wonderful, and she is actually a shame researcher. And I've been thinking about why we have so much trouble letting go of emotions that we have stuck in us. And it comes right down to that. A lot of times there's shame in there. For instance, the first guy I was talking about, who doesn't want to hear what his elderly parent is saying, it's better to have earplugs in. Maybe feeling anger about that and not letting it go, because there's also a sense of shame about feeling that. It's like, well, this is someone I love. I shouldn't feel that way. So shame kind of can act like glue to help these emotions really stick in there. So we're going to do a little bit of work later this week about shame also. I'm still creating that, still thinking about that one. So I want to do some tapping. And I see I've got two or three of you on here. Yeah. Oh, hi, Karen. Yeah. Oh, okay, good. Kevin, hi. Yes, hey. Hi, guys. All right. So I want to do some tapping. Give me something that you want to tap on. Do we want to work with anger? Maybe. Does anger appeal? Well, I like to work with anger. So let's just go in and think about any place. Great. Glad to see you. Yeah, okay. Hey, Karen. I want to have you think about any place in your life where you may be hanging on to some anger, because that's going to be, I think it's a pretty big component for, looks to me like I'm gauging well over half the group, at least those of you who are actually active in the group and talking. So look at where that anger is in the noise in your head, and kind of just get quiet, give it a number. Since Nadav is talking about it, we're going to use that as an example here. Okay. All right. Now, let's just start here. Okay. I think the anger might be because you're back home, because you're someplace that triggers you. Does that sound right? I'm just going to go with that a little bit here. I am so angry. Even though I have this absolutely uncontrollable anger, I completely love and accept myself. Even though my anger is just out of control, it's actually almost rage. I'm open to letting it go now, because I do completely love and accept myself. And I honor how I feel about this. There are a lot of things happening in the world that make me angry. But I choose to narrow it down. I allow myself to look at this closely and to really see what it was that triggered this. All this anger. It just showed up out of the blue. I give myself permission to have clarity about this. Even though sometimes getting clear about this feels a little scary. It's less scary than having anger just show up out of the blue. Getting clear about anger. I'm allowing myself clarity about the true sources of anger. And now I'm going to really look at this even closer. And I allow myself to remember that anger can't exist as a separate emotion without fear underneath it to support it. And sometimes it's easier to feel anger than to really feel fear. Because anger can kind of move me a little bit, but fear just stops me in my tracks. So I give myself permission to really look at this closely. I appreciate that I am safe right here, right now. And maybe I don't need to feel all this fear. Because if I'm safe right now, that means that this is an old, stored up thing that I've hung on to a long time. And it no longer serves me to hold on to this. So I allow myself to let it go now. It's perfectly safe to let go of this old fear and the anger that it provokes because I'm safe. Peace. Okay, good. That was a good round. Talk to me a little bit. All of you who are on here, there's several of you. How do you feel after this round? Did this bring up some things? Did it calm it down? How did you react to this? I'm going to have just a teeny bit of coffee here. Oh, it's all gone. I know there's a little bit of a time delay in some of these when you do live work. Okay, nobody's talking, so I will. I'm happy to fill in the gap here. So, Karen, I know you've had a lot of changes in your hearing, a lot of changes in the noise just from the few videos that are in the group right now. So let's do some work for you. What emotion or emotions would you like to work with? I'll ask also Kevin. You've been pretty quiet here, but I'm glad to see you on here. And I know that all of this emotional stuff is pretty new to you. But I assure you, I promise you, I've done this work for a long time, and the emotional stuff, that's where the solution is. It is. There's no way around it. So talk to me a little bit. Stasa, you too, everybody. Okay, good. Oh, okay. Okay, it works later. Some people have a delayed response to tapping. I don't know why that is. Everybody's a little different. So good. That's okay. Good. Great. Okay. No, and I'm not discouraged at all. Thank you for that. Uh, do you think, I'll ask you, since you're back in Tel Aviv, do you think maybe it's because you've gone back for a visit that maybe you've got some triggering going on? I think that that could be it. And you might want to really do some work with feeling safe where you are in the world. Because I think you are. You're not actively being shot at. It's bringing up some memories, and that's probably not going to feel safe for you. But you know how to work with a lot of that. And so anger and fear, two sides of the same thing. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about, we're going to do another round about this. Because that just, yeah. Okay, let's just start at the top of the head. I know I'm angry because I'm scared. But it's not okay for me to be scared. I'm not supposed to feel that way. I'm supposed to be brave all the time. And I am brave, but I'm also scared. But because I think I'm not supposed to be scared, if I'm brave, that made me ashamed of myself. I'm really ashamed of myself for being scared. So I give myself permission to understand at a very deep level that bravery and fear go hand in hand. And that a lot of the time, people who are extremely brave are also afraid because it's normal to be afraid. And it may or may not keep them from doing something they were going to do. But people who commit acts of bravery do so even because they're scared. I allow myself to know that the opposite of fear is love, not bravery. And I allow myself to let go of any shame I felt about being scared. It's perfectly safe to let this go. Fear is normal, and so am I. And I completely love and accept myself. And I honor how I feel about this now. Peace. Okay, that was a good round again. Oh, anniversary anger. Okay, good. Good. Okay, good. Okay, head, stomach. Okay, good. Anger, anger, anger. Okay, I'm just kind of trying to stroll it. I'm not used to trying to read comments here on the side, so I'm just looking at this. Oh, Karen, that's interesting. Anniversary anger. That's definitely interesting. That'd be worth looking more. Did this last thing help you? Let me know on that because I can do some more. I've got time this morning, so okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, keep talking to me because I'm going to sit here and tap with you guys for a while. I want to do at least a good 30 minutes here. And I'm going to do a lot of Facebook Live now with you. Now, just tell me, the more information you give me about what you're feeling, the more effective we're going to be here today. So Karen, if you can think back about what happens every September. Now, I think you're in, I can't remember where you are, but I think you're in the United States. Leaves are turning, changing, fall is coming. Maybe, I don't think that would make anybody angry. I personally detest winter, and we have a lot of winter in Kansas, so it doesn't make me mad. I'm just really kind of always a little sad to see fall come. It's like, oh, no, no more summer. So there's got to be something in there, and you may be able to get to it by doing one of the visualizations again. You may be able to get to what it is that makes you angry about this time every year, because that's definitely something tappable. It's really something good. And if you think of it not on Facebook Live, go in and comment in the group later on. As I said, I read every single one of these. I'm in here a lot, and this is, I think we're all doing some excellent work. And so many of you are reporting changes in the tinnitus. Oh, something I want you to do, I want you to pay close attention in this whole next few days, and from now on too. Pay attention to how you describe tinnitus, okay? Do you ever describe it as my tinnitus or tinnitus? If so, that means that part of you is really owning that and really hanging on to it. That you are considering that thing that you say you don't want to be a part of you. So change up your wording a little bit. Do not ever again call it mine, okay? You might say, I have tinnitus or this disorder, but not mine, okay? That's an important distinction. So just pay attention to your language. Words are, as you're seeing, words are so powerful. Oh, okay, here we go. Okay. Relationship, anger, okay. Let's see, fear that I didn't have before, left alone, no one to take care of me, and like old sick people. Okay. Early morning, July, August, September. Well, I don't know with that. That is so interesting. Karen, how many years have you had tinnitus? Because there's got to be a real good trigger in there having to do with this time of year. I mean, there just does. Now, it's hurricane season. I don't know if September is the peak of the Atlantic Basin hurricane season. I don't know if that has anything to do with it for you. Think about birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, funerals. Did someone die then? 9/11, is a trigger for a lot of people. That's September, but yours is starting earlier than that. So I don't think that's what it is. And since it's a several month thing, that would maybe be birth, death, divorce, something that drags out a little bit longer. I don't think it's just that's where you want to look. I think that's where you want to look. Now, we'll do just a little tapping. Let's do a little tapping on clarity for that. Let's just start here. I have all this anger, and it starts early in the morning, and I don't know why. But maybe I can get some clarity about this. Even though I've got a lot of anger, and it shows up first thing in the morning. I'm not quite sure why. I'm open to taking a closer look at this now because I profoundly love and accept myself. And I honor that this anger is coming to teach me. If this anger is here to teach me and talk to me, might be a good idea if I find a way to listen. But I don't really want to hear what it has to say. It's too uncomfortable to listen to it. But I'm going to allow myself to relax and to get some clarity. No, I don't really want clarity. Then I'd have to take some action on it. I'd have to really hear that stuff. I'm not sure I really want to get clear about this.